Yep, straight into it. We're on a ride. Welcome, crypto kitty winkles. You're with the crypto sniper. And we're taking on some hills. We're going for a nice little ride. What are we talking about today? What am I going to tell you today? Why should you care and what should you watch? Well, what I'm going to tell you about is the next stage regarding central banks and crypto. That's right, central banks and crypto. Why? What I'm going to tell you today is why central banks, particularly central banks like the European Central Bank, see stable coins as a threat, and that everybody's already probably got, but why they're likely to ban interest payments on stable coins, because it is a threat on the central bankers' controlled monetary policy. Monetary policy is the payment of interest on money. Remember, in your shitty European bank money, you will get, usually as a non-cartel member, 0.1, some ridiculous percent paid to you on your euros in your euro bank. Similarly for dollars in a dollar bank as well. The great threat that we are going to discuss today as I take on this hill and take you for an awesome little ride with me is what's coming next from the cartel of central bankers and why crypto, particularly stable coins that pay interest, are such a threat to the cartel of central bankers. By the way, thank you for tuning in. Big thank you to all our Odyssey channel fans that are encouraging decentralized content, uncensored decentralized content that will give you the full story exactly as we see it without censorship. Massive thank you. That's on Reset Sniper, where we talk about a lot of these overlapping topics, and more guys. Reset Sniper, Market Sniper and Crypto Sniper are merging into one. It's the central banking cartel we're discussing today, and their great control on the issuance of money and how they really punish true savers by negligible, negative real interest rates. Real means after inflation. So if you're paying 0.1, even 0.5, but the true inflation rate, remember you're being lied to on the inflation rate, the true inflation is closer to 15%, you're actually going backwards at minus 15%, and you're subsidizing their devaluation of the debt that they have excessively created. So it's a scam, it's a cartel. You know that, I know that. That's why you're into crypto. And you want it to end. You think it's freedom. It's not. It's their new game, which they totally control. But anyway, you have to be early in the new game if you want to make some money and rather be a rich slave than a poor one. So that's why we're here, and that's why we're discussing this. So my expectation is at some point, and I've already discussed this before on Reset Sniper, the two worlds of monetary policy. You can stake a token, and you can even stake a stable coin and hold a stable coin and receive much more attractive interest rates than the banking system ever cares to want to pay you. So we actually have this apartheid system of shit treatment to the real world banking clients. They call it the old financial system, where everybody who participates and isn't a spender and a borrower, and by the way, that's only if you're a mega corporate part of the clan borrower, where you pay next to nothing on a huge loan. If you're a borrower as a retail guy, hey, you can still be charged 9, 16, 27, 30% interest. As a man in the street, you won't get any gifts from these guys. If you're a saver, you'll get paid basically nothing, next to nothing. In fact, bank charges will normally more than compensate for anything positive in terms of interest income. Even if you lock it up for 3 months, 6 months, don't have access to your money, the interest will still be diabolical. So crypto is a threat, and the things they like least are the things that mimic their fake cartel of money. That is a stablecoin. If stablecoins emulate their digital money, and I just mean your euros in your online bank, that's not notes. I don't mean yet central bank digital tokens, but those are certainly coming, we all know that. However, their issued fiat, which is usually digits in the computer, only between, depending where you're at, 3% to 7% is actual cash notes. And by the way, everyone should be holding cash, ideally, and you should try to use it as much as possible to roll back the wave of attacks. In the UK, just on the cash, small sidebar here, on the cash, we'll come back to the main course of the discussion. On the cash front, in the UK, there's a series of adverts. So I tune in to British TV to occasionally switch my mind off for a bit of sport. Liverpool are playing today. Way, adverts on mainstream. This is literally the only mainstream media I get, is adverts at halftime when I'm watching a game. This is literally their opportunity to show me what they're up to. And it's good that I have some opportunity because I have very little. And it reminds me of everything about the great game that is occurring. And what do I see? Americans, Europeans, whether you're not British, you'll have something of the same. There's some Joe Schmo little business where your neighbor is cutting hair now, and they have on this advert, "Oh, I'm about ready to pay you. Thank you for the haircut, dear." This is how the advert goes. This is the conversation. "Ooh, I take card now." And out this little Joe Schmo one-man band operator cutting hair from the kitchen sink in her own home pulls one of these tap and go point of sale devices. And then everyone who's watching goes, "Ooh, ooh," how impressed they are. You're now a big deal. You now have a digital money payment system for your one-man band minuscule business. In a country that I'm in, they've just passed a law. Even the hot dog stand vendor has to be able to take cards. Has to be able to take card payments. This is an acceleration of what? You're busy thinking. It is an acceleration of everything into the digital sphere. It is a first step in the final nail of the killing of cash. Why would they want to kill cash? It's an anonymous transaction that is not taxable at point of sale. Let's just recap what I just said. I pay you £10, €10, $10 for the hot dog you've just served me with a wee bit of Heinz ketchup and a smash of mustard. That is nobody's goddamn business. What you declare, what you say, what you do with it, how you choose to spend it, how you choose to spend it. The freedom money, you can go buy a spliff from your local merch and have yourself a couple of spliffs with your $10. You can buy a couple of snorts of whiskey, a couple of tots, go home and kick your dog and beat up your missus. Hopefully you don't do that. But whatever you do, it is, at the end of the day, only your goddamn business. And me, as the purchaser of your dog, have no input, no T's and C's, no criteria on how or what you do with that $10. And it is freedom money. And your Bolsheviks Your Bolshevik communists, go and read up your history on the death of the Tsar of Russia, the torture and the pervasion that they pursued. That is a reset topic. I'm going to say no more on it. The Bolsheviks don't like your freedom. They like their control. They like your not having freedom and them having control over you. And money, and the issue of money has always been the axis of all power and all control. Famous Rothschild statement, I care not who maketh the laws, providing I control the issuance of money. Thereby you control everything. The lawmakers, the judge, the jury, the police chief, and every politician that you think is currently serving you and isn't. So, that little point being made, serve yourself, push back, pay cash. For as long as humanly possible, give them a little less data on the fact you just bought a dog, a hot diggity dog, or whatever else you're buying, especially if it's a spliff. So, they want to kill cash. They're accelerating this agenda. It's a problem for them. It takes power away from them. So now we have stable coins, not controlled by central banks directly, for which monetary policy and interest rates are far higher. And guess what? It shows up their debt devaluation, anti-saver shell game for everything that it is. Because the risk of a stable coin is incredibly minor. However, the additional gain in compounded interest versus the non-interest gain, the non-compounding, and I would argue, I would take the risk on a well-established stable coin over the risk of a bank and a bail-in. So, when you hold up the two choices, couple $100 grand, $250,000 in said US bank in dollars, said European bank in euros. Don't forget, Cyprus, the big bail-in, is a model. Terms and conditions have all been amended by banks to dish out massive haircuts across Australia, that current Nazi gulag camp, the bottom of the world. Now you are effectively seeing a situation where these guys can bail in on banks. So the whole statement I'm saying to you is, in a world of risk reward, holding a stable coin, let's say we bearish cryptos a little bit. Actually, I am a little bit slightly, I'll clarify on that later. Short term, by the way, macro bull. Please don't mistake me, misquote me, and misunderstand. We'll deal with that a little bit in a moment. But I want a safe haven out of the volatility for a bit. I'm putting it into stablecoin, put a wrapper on it, whatever, stake it somewhere, start getting a return significantly higher than what's offered on the bank. I am actually showing up the actual banking system for being a bad deal. And that ain't good. That ain't good for banks. Also, inside of that, you can change stable coins. I'm a bull dollar at the moment. For that information, by the way, crypto snipers should really follow the market sniper. I would say that. It's me, same guy, talking a different topic. FX matters, guys. We've had a dollar surge and Bitcoin has struggled. The God market of fiat has gone up. Don't want to sidetrack. I've mentioned this plenty on Twitter feeds. I'm going to leave that there. Go sub the Market Sniper YouTube channel for what's happening in the FX markets. So I can get out of failing euros instead of a euro bank I can get out. Failing euros was always going to be an interesting turn, that one. Little old one way. Tiniest lanes in the world. I can get out of failing euros. By the way, Euro Swiss franc, called it short. 1.08. You've had the better part of 7 weeks in a row, net down. And FX, you can get bigger leverage. The moves are smaller than crypto. Net down. Euro USD, net down. You can, if you're a European, instead of holding your euros in a European bank, you can buy stablecoin dollars. Probably somewhere there's even stablecoin Swiss franc. I'm almost certain, but I don't know for sure. So I'm not going to state it. Stablecoin dollars, you can not take the big washout from 125 down to currently trading 112, which, guys, is a significant percentage, and you can have it in an efficient manner that you're getting a yield on it that far exceeds. And I don't know the best yield. I haven't researched this prior to this ride. I'm not going to throw out inaccurate numbers. If I don't know, I'll not say. I'm just going to say, in fact, give me an answer in the comments. Those of you who are geeks on this topic, feel free, throw down what's the best yield a stable coin staked can get. Obviously, it'll depend on term, duration, different providers, but significantly better. So now you step out of one system that wants you to be part, to hold the shit end of a deal that's failing. They need the mugs. Remember, when the markets take the elevator down, the banks want to be on the right side of that trade. They need the mugs on the wrong side of the trade. And guess who that is? Yep. When you haven't worked out who the patsy is in the poker game, friends, it's probably because it's you. That's how this world works. The ill-educated get the punch. For the smart and devious that have perpetuated the fraud. You do the time for their crime. That's how it works, kiddies. You've got to do the time for their goddamn crime. Plain and simple, really. Oh, I love this e-bike. You guys should do this. Get yourself out, get some exercise. I am macabrely fascinated with the way this whole fraud will be managed and perpetuated. And I'm intent on helping people make the best out of it, the most money, whilst never bullshitting you and telling you this is good, if it ain't. There's a new system coming, and it ain't in your interest. It ain't in your interest. Like, the opportunity for absolute control has without a doubt been seized by the insider cartel. And freedom is going to be a far more difficult thing. However, if you can be rich, slave, it sure beats being a poor one. And that's my game for you. So I'm not interested in spelling you beautiful little love stories about the great exponential technological revolution. Yes, those are all true. Yes, it's coming. Yes, make some money out of it. But in the longer run, in this technological metaverse realm, you are going to be far less freer. There's going to be a lot more rules, a lot more observation. So where are they going, you ask? I'll tell you where they're going. Real-time digital taxation for every penny you receive. Real-time taken. That's right. They're going to reverse compound you. One of my favorite sayings is they'll never let you have your own money. Another one that you'll hear me say often, and is almost the Francis Hunt crypto sniper Bible of truth, is the game is they get to put you on a negative on the wrong side of a compound interest equation. We're riding into the sun. Isn't this beautiful? I wish I got out earlier. It's a lot chillier now, but check it out. This is food for the soul, guys. Every day you've got to take something beautiful out of your day. You've got to watch the reset snipe and understand I gave you 3 years left of life. Play it right, you get a renewal for another 3. Play it wrong, and who knows, you die because of something experimental potentially. Love these paths. These are freaking awesome. Gets a bit technical in parts. The up and down pole on a switch of a button. What a fucking invention. Not for kids, these videos, sorry. A lot of cussing. A lot of bad house shithousery from yours truly. Yep. So they want real-time taxation. And they can't do that with cash, kiddies. They can't do that with cash. They don't know you got the income. They don't know I paid you for that dog. So what's the game? Everything electronic. Everything must go electronic. Technology, your friend. Software will eat everything. That's right. Software is here and it's ready to eat everything, including your freedom. Digital money is software. Blockchain is software. It's all fucking software. And it's come to eat your freedom and give control to the makers of the software, the makers of the viruses, who will also sell you the solution, of course. They're very kind that way. I can't get 2 resets on this channel, friends. If you want to talk more on those things, you need to be on the Odyssey platform. So, the monetary policy of deceit. The 2-tier system, where you get fucked by the banks, paid nothing for postponed consumption. The old test of success for a child. Give him a marshmallow and tell him 2 tomorrow if he doesn't eat it. Postponed consumption. There is no reward for postponed consumption. There is no APR for you choosing not to spend anymore. It is a deflationary debt game and an inflationary currency game. Deflate away our debt. Inflation for your living costs. That is the game. Wanted to ride this cliff edge. We actually came part of this journey, by the way, on the Odyssey channel. I keep mentioning it at Reset. A little bit more ability to speak freely there because of decentralized media. Bit of a wind here, I won't stay too long. Look at that view. Not half bad for a bike ride, is it? Share me your best picture from your bike ride. If you're an e-biker, mountain biker, link it in on a tweet below. Love to see it. Great way to get exercise. Do something a little bit technical, keep a little bit alert, keep your brain a little bit focused. A little bit of action, a little bit of adrenaline, get you out from behind your computer. Physically fit when the lab flus are whizzing around. Why the hell not, I say? Why wouldn't you? This is a Cube hybrid. All the bells and whistles, the top end one, I'm lucky enough to be able to afford it. It's an amazing bike. I love the electric seat pole up and down because when it gets technical, you want to drop that seat. Look at that view. Great brakes, of course, thankfully. So, 2-tier system where the slow ones, the late adopters, are getting royally done. The early adopters are taking fiat out of the banking system and getting their money out of this banking system, moving it into the currency that is going to best serve them, to a stable coin, and earning a yield on that when they're not in a crypto that they think is going to appreciate, which is rare because generally it's a macro bull, although more volatile. So what are we predicting is happening? Stable coins are going to be targeted, but they're not going to be cancelled. They need the system of crypto and even its alternative. They kill crypto if they cancel stable coins, because where do you go when the market don't look right? That was, these pedals bottom out. You've got to watch those little obstacles. Literally little goat paths now. Don't want to go off the edge of the cliff. Where do you go when you need to get out of crypto when it's collapsing on the volatility? They realize they'll kill the game if they 100% kill stable coins. So they won't. What are they going to do? They're going to ban stable coins. You will become an enemy, and it'll be different by economic zone. What the EU does may be replicated by America. It may not. There may be some arbitrage for a while. They are going to ban your ability to earn yield on your stable coin. They won't kill DeFi. They'll probably want to know, they're going to want more KYC, they're going to want to know who's earned interest, they're going to want to know who's made capital gains. Those that thought crypto was a great escape from the central banking cartel should now be realizing what I said in 2016. It is the cartel. Those that especially wanted to hate on Ripple should realize that most of the technology that plan to play along with the authorities, with the exception of a couple that out and out announced that they for privacy, and they probably could be compromised, and they'll be highly targeted by hacks and many other things. And the downside of that is if you do purchase them, you'll put an immediate red flag on your head. Two-tier monetary policy system is a pressure for the existing cartel of old school banking. They can't have the slaves escaping when they're supposed to be the patsies at the poker table for their collapsing system. They can't have it. Stay at the table. You're feeding them. They're ripping you. They need you there, all of you. Wow, this is going to be interesting. Managing to keep going here. Not going to tell you I'm the enduro champion of the world. It's pretty rocky. It's a big ass fall, but it's beautiful, isn't it? Tell me if you like a little bit of crypto sniper from the cliff's edge into the sun. You'll have it at your back on the way out. It's late in the day, but I got to get some exercise, man. Get off that fucking computer. You do no good. Not physically. Don't overtrade. This is not leveraged longs market. Okay, let's deal with Bitcoin, because I've already alluded to it. A couple of things just worrying me on crypto right now. Technically, this is a chart-based discussion without the chart. Follow the Crypto Sniper on Twitter to see recent posts or charts while you listen to this bit. Simple as that. Go to twitter.com @thecryptosniper. You'll find a chart. The monthlies are looking garbage. Let's jump off the bike and let you take in the view a bit. Yeah, it is beautiful. It's the end of the world, isn't it? Sunset at the end of the world with the Crypto Sniper. Here's your view for being a subscriber. Thank you, by the way, for the support. Thank you for hitting the like button right now, for trying to bring you something different. I'm investing in more kit all the time. I want to be a great content producer. I want to bring you the best truth and the best that I know to you as follower, even as a free view, because I want you to succeed in these times. We're taking this journey together. You think you're alone? You're not. You're taking this journey together. Give it a share. We're buying a helmet with a mic so I can deal with the wind. Bit of wind here. I've got a fuzzy cat, for those of you that like to give me that advice. We already have a fuzzy cat on here. But if you come to the cliff's edge, look, it can be a bit windy. So we're taking this journey together, and we're trying, it's game theory, guys. We're rats on the ship, and they're cornering us, and they know people are going to run, and they know in the directions they're going to run, and they want their tax. Tax on unrealized gains was mooted. And I discussed this in detail on the Reset Sniper, which is actually confusingly in my catch-all Odyssey channel called the Market Sniper, for which you'll need a couple of library tokens. They are 4.5 cents at the moment. You'll never pay more than $3. And the reason I ask for that is not because that makes me wealthy. It doesn't. It's to pay for a decentralized system. I want you off this channel that you're busy watching. You need a new YouTube. That isn't YouTube. You need to be off Google. You need to be off Google. Stop giving them your data. You might think, that doesn't matter to me. I don't give a couple of shits. There's great content on there. Stuff that you're not supposed to see is on there. That's been washed out of Google. There's free stuff. You won't have to pay on the rest of Odyssey. You won't have to pay for Market Sniper and Crypto Sniper, and you'll just pay a couple of library coins for Reset Sniper. And there's no way I get away with what I'll saying on there on YouTube. So the monetary policy is changing. People are cheating and escaping the central bankers, and they don't like that. So prediction of this YouTube, the whole point of this YouTube is stable coins will not be allowed. Probably in the Eurozone first, maybe America will follow suit. Probably they all seem to come to the same conclusions about everything in the end. You think you have real choice. What you have is a cartel that has more in common, no matter which geography in, than most people care to exist. Different faces, different names, pulling different methods to achieve the same ends. That, unfortunately, is a political fact. The best tools are being developed universally in what is a global world order, and you can expect to see them. It's amazing. You can go to South Africa, which is people starving, but they've got the brand new best ways for identifying people and passports at border controls, scanning irises and everything. But they can't feed all their citizens. You can go to all sorts of places, but at ports of control, when they want to know about your movement, there just seems to be the latest tech in every country, including those that can't even pay attention. They've got so little money. So we're riding with the goats here on their paths. A couple of battered 4x4s also take it. It's pretty awesome. We're going to look inland now. Best way to get exercise. I fucking love it. Bit of off-roading. Stay away from the cages in the road. Of course, I'm one of those cages. I'd hate to run into myself. People watching their devices. Just down the road, a 20-year-old rode over a couple of people at a pedestrian thing crossing. Being on the road is less safe than falling off over here. Great ride. So, what do you guys think? Monetary policy cannot be undermined. They must bring an end to it. Bitcoin, couple of shooting stars on the total market cap. What is a shooting star? After an extended upward move, you get an intra period, which in this case is a month, which is one of the biggest periods I ever look at crypto charts, where you go up and then you reverse back down. And you have a small body, and the bulk of the wick is on the high side, meaning that there was selling that came in there and won that battle and drove it back down. Selling came in and won a battle and drove it back down. Often, without universally meaning every time, probability-based games, please. I'm not trying to be right, I'm trying to warn of potential. I'm not trying to be right, I'm trying to talk about probabilities where certain things might, possibilities and probabilities have a higher chance of occurring. Macro Bitcoin is a bull. I haven't flipped into a big bear and that's all over. The cycle is extending. It'll go up again, probably in the new year. Initially, we're expecting a very good Christmas. A lot of the alts were very well loaded. Bitcoin recovered from our first COT signal on the falling wedge, and then it came down again, and it recovered on the second COT signal. We got a lot of reiterates. They're not the same. I explained that in a separate video. Now we've got a lot more maturing going on, and we've got a bit of a deflation attack. Terrorizing these people with my bellowing. We've got a bit of a deflation, cause Botswana. You know, I've been to Botswana, guys. I'm an African before I'm anything. Sorry, it's not a color, it's a place where you grow up and you understand. I've ridden through it on a 1100 GS, more sand, dirt and bushveld, and very sparsely populated. The least likely place for a flu pandemic than I've ever come across. But anyway, ain't gonna say any more on that space. May well get censored. So you now have a deflation. Why do they need to bring on deflation? And why will that be a risk-off environment? And why will Bitcoin possibly go down on a risk-off environment? They need deflation because they've lost all credibility. The central bank's narrative went like this: we can't seem to get any inflation and we're printing like hell. See, there's nothing in our fake numbers. We can't do it. We're gonna have to do more to, okay, there's finally some inflation, but it's very transitory. It's just passing through. We've got to be vigilant that the economy doesn't crash. We've got to maintain our vigilance, aka keep our license for more printing. New message. Okay, it's not so transitory, but it will pass nonetheless. Just a little longer, a bit stubborn. To, okay, we're paying in the fine jar now for saying transitory, but next thing you know, variance, fear. Oil, smackdown. The biggest Rockefeller tax, oil. It's an activity tax. Everything's delivered. Plastics, all made with oil. Rockefeller tax hits town. Knock it back down from 86 to upper 60s. You just cut the transaction costs on a whole bunch of things. Bitcoin goes down with it. Because if the dollar's strong, it's the god market of fiats. That means fiats are going to be dominant. And the anti-fiat group, and we're the only people to this day that created that category, going to have a hard time. Gold and silver got a smack down earlier. Not so much in the second leg, but in the first leg they were smacked properly. Oil smacked properly. Equity markets got a little bit smacked down. All these markets have bigger market caps than crypto, guys. Sorry, you're in the smallest swimming pool. We all are. Crypto is a huge part of my game for trading reset. It's absolutely central. It's going to grow the most. I agree with the fastest horse. Choose a few good ones. It's not the only horse. And when the biggest horse kicks, they all get bruises. When the biggest horse sneezes, dare I say, they all get FLU. Yeah. So, how are you enjoying the ride? A little bit of evening views. Hit the like button right now. If you wish you had a mountain bike right now, we're scampering along with a madman who's barking out of his gob the whole way. Give it a share to faceache. Give it a smear, as I like to say. Call me daddy and give it a pap smear. I finally found out what pap smear is. Talking shit about your old man. Call me your stepdad. Uncle Frank. Give me a pap smear on the faceache. Or Twitterati. Bolshevik, communistic, controlled platforms. Anyway, so Bitcoin shooting star, Sol a shooting star, Ethereum a shooting star, Luna the big runner, recent runner, shooting star. All of these on big monthlies. Next time we'll go down there. We'll head this way now. Big monthlies. Monthly charts never lie. Now, I must point out, by the way, if you look at Bitcoin monthly chart, get that tweet. It's on the Crypto Sniper. Have a look at this while I talk. I can explain it to you if you're too tired or too lazy, but you had, following the falling wedge, which came after the head and shoulders at the 29K low, which we were involved in calling short and saying you must accumulate there at 29K. Following that, you got your first major COT warning after the accumulate COT warning at the bottom of the falling wedge. You got a new one as the falling wedge was breaking out. That was a fresh signal. It wasn't a reiterate. We had a long period where they moved apart, the four biggest buyers, the four biggest sellers, and then we dropped back down and we got a fresh signal. The market moved strongly. From around, it was about 32, 31, 32, back up to the mid 60s. On the month of, I think it was before October, the month of September, you went up and you traded back down. The month of September is a shooting star. And sometimes you get this with shooting stars. It's weak in that month, but then there's a bunch of dip buyers. And actually, the October month was a good month. And it went green on the October month. Went back green after that correction. But now you've got your second shooting star higher up, and we've made marginally higher highs on the 64K high. We haven't smashed the previous high. We've tripped the wire to get all the support and resistance traders long, and then we've pulled back down. Look at this road opening up here, isn't it awesome? So what I'm saying is the very first shooting star didn't trigger a downside fall. It triggered a rally. What's happened? Higher up, at a higher level, you got another one. And this can happen. I've even had it that there can be three. You could have a strong month going into December and then get a third, and then only four. But it doesn't always happen like that. A shooting star is an intra-period reversal, where you attempted to go higher, there was no follow-through or insufficient follow-through, and the profit taking overwhelmed the move up. What happened? You traded off. So you had one shooting star, an up month, and then slightly higher up, you've got another. On Bitcoin. Bitcoin is God market. It still is until further notice. Yes, if you're a stock picker and you can really kill the odd alt. For example, I was lucky to get cat hauling there. Go away! If you were a brilliant stock picker type person, in a bear market, you can still make money going on the upside, but you've got to be good. And all your misses are going to cost you more than the profits you'll make. Normally, my personal experience from market trading long in a less than long accommodative environment. So, what are we actually saying? It's not a time for leverage long trading. I repeat, and I said in the previous video, it is not a time for leverage long trading. Don't do it. You're not going to add value, you're going to destroy Bitcoin value. That's the valuation you should use. I also use Ethereum valuation. Don't do it. Drop the seat there a little bit. Feel like I'm at the 5-year-old school when I do that. You suddenly sit so low. Steep hills. Gotta watch it when you come around these tiny roads. I don't fancy head on with a 4x4. Actually, let's see if we can go this way. We'll go beach. Who wants to go to the beach? I'm not going to swim today, guys. Not at this time, not in this season. Beach. Drop a few cogs. Look a lot fitter than I am, guys. Don't be fooled. I'm on the battery power here. Taekwondo. Konnichiwa. Time to fight. Yep, it's going to be a nice big downhill. Down into the bay, so we're heading down there. sit low. Yep. So monetary policy is effectively over. It has been over for an extended period in the traditional world. But the more you suppress monetary policy in one realm, the more you create a new realm for it to exist, and that was crypto. The cartel do not like their system being shown to be bad value when they need a patsy. They do not like it one bit. And the inflation narrative was making the Fed look very stupid. So what do? Create a deflationary narrative for which they've already established their 3, 4, 5-year agenda of bouncing everybody into digital IDs, central bank digital tokens, biometrics, and movement licenses, movement permits. So they just amped the volume on that, which is going to typically coincide with Northern Hemisphere winters. It's a difficult sell to sit there in the heat, the blistering heat of a Botswanan desert. But let's leave that discussion for Reset Sniper as the apex for a major runaway, sparsely populated explosion of new variant. But let's leave that. So when they do that and they pump the dollar, they reduce the inflation because the oil price goes down more than just the dollar goes up, because the oil is an inflation trade. The gold is an inflation trade. Crypto is a risk on inflation trade. If the world is experiencing inflation, crypto is your best and fastest horse. Gold and silver will do well, uranium will do well, natural gas stocks will do well. All of these things, they are your friends, they are your fellow stable of upside anti-fiats. If they pump the dollar, not only if the dollar goes up a small amount in percent, this is what many people don't understand. The dollar's only gone up a certain percent. It's a much bigger market. A market of hundreds of trillions and quadrillions with derivatives going up a couple of percent mean markets that are highly leveraged to that, like cryptos, that is much smaller, go up significantly more. So there's a gearing effect on the smaller markets. If I'm a big fat bloke and I pick up 1% in body weight, but I already weigh 300 pounds, that's 30 pounds. If you're an in-shape guy, that's a svelte 150, and you pick up 30 pounds, you don't fit in any of your clothes anymore, or blubber. So that's essentially what I'm trying to describe by gearing. So you get a gearing effect when the anti-fiats get hammered. Small changes in dollar, they're not so small by the way, go see the Market Sniper channel for the inverted head and shoulder shout. Small changes there, and they haven't been small as I keep saying, they're pretty big for FX markets. And they're going to go further, I'm afraid, guys. This is a key point, they're going to go further. The dollar is going to get a lot stronger. This is why the Market Sniper's model of failure of the FX system on dollar strength is so critical. And we lean on the likes of the dollar milkshake theory by Brent Johnson, but we have our own understanding. Principally, he was right. He doesn't do macro technicals. His timing was off. We do the macro technicals. We listen to his theory and we say, I can see how that happens. The dollar goes down. I've seen so many smart people and they all talk about the dollar crashing. The dollar's already crashed against gold, Bitcoin, and everything else. It's not going to crash against shit fiats like the euro and many others, because they all have the same problem and they don't have the privilege of being the global currency, the Triffin dilemma of global currency, where everyone has debt offshore in dollars, and that means they owe more money than they have, and they haven't got the means to earn those dollars. And as a result, what do you have? I just can't help believing as she smiles so soft and gentle. Whoa, bit of karaoke. What a beautiful day. Look at that. Great exercise. Sing a little song. Do a little dance. Make a little love. Let's boogie tonight. Yep. Ain't nothing but a peanut. It's all just a lightweight story, guys. Be strong. It's a game. It's a virtual existence. Yeah, you feel pain. Yeah, you feel this. Be determined to maintain integrity and principles in, this is a test, a mental psyop test. Play the game as smart as you can. You can't defeat on your own structures that have been a millennia in creation. But do your little bit to do the best by your fellow man. That's all I can say. Everybody going out to hit the town. I'll take on my hill. Nice steep hill. It's getting late. At least I've got enough battery power this time. I went there last time and I was on 18%, and I was on the other side. That's your get home. That's your get home money. Stereo SLT hybrid cube bike. For anybody who wants to try an awesome bike, I'd recommend it wholeheartedly. Supply chain shortages saw me wait the better part of a year for the damn thing. I already ordered the next one and I'm expecting to wait 2 years for that one. The dealer, the shop dealer, says he's getting no more than 6 bikes a month. And the 22 bikes haven't even started yet. It's almost December. They normally sell the 22 bikes and have them in store September. It's almost 2022 and he hasn't even got 2022 models in yet. They'll start arriving H1. And I'm not talking like January, I'm talking like March, April. And these high-end ones, they come last. That's crazy. I mean, it is a little bit of where I've chosen to live. You might have seen a little bit why I like it, but it comes with its own challenges. There's the whole family and the pooches going for a bit of dinner. So we're going to knock out a big hill, burn those calories, or should I say burn that last 60% of the battery. So what have I done? I've taken defensive on crypto, guys. I've taken defensive on crypto because the new narrative is fear. It's been the narrative of the last 2 years, we know that. But it's a fear escalation. It's how they do regular little bleed outs and liquidations of the over leveraged. Don't be part of that. Don't be part of that. And just because we say you watch this video and then you go look at the charts and Bitcoins, we covered a little bit. Don't be that guy that comes and says, ah, you're wrong. It's a monthly chart. I'm not trying to be right. I'm not trying to be wrong. I'm saying to you, technically at a macro level. That doesn't mean it starts tomorrow or it's meant to start tonight or straight after you've watched this video. It means there's exhaustion twice on entire months. almost back to back with only 1 month in between it where it tried again. And I'm saying, don't wait for your third warning necessarily. Even though you may get one, you won't necessarily get one. And look, I'm not calling like a halftime oranges crash. I'm not calling any kind of crash. You could just come off and be benign and grind lower and then have a few spikes and then smack down lower. It'll be a frustrating market. If you've dedicated yourself to a super macro long-term hodl, you've got nothing to do. Just don't expect good news. Forget about your portfolio, don't look at it. If you're slightly active, you want to make 3 quality decisions a year on your crypto, and you use a little bit of a leverage occasionally when you're confident, not too much, like 50%. You got 10 Bitcoin and you take a 15 Bitcoin position on something. In total, you've got like 50% leverage. Now's not that time to be reaching for that leverage. Not in my opinion. Getting pretty dark, isn't it, down in the valley here? You could have more downside than upside right now. Select alts, Metaverse, I don't want to be that guy that states the obvious, but Metaverse is going to be huge. So I've gone and done it anyway. I did add some mana for a good run. I've actually taken it off. I think there could be a little bit in the fear, a little bit of a resetting. I will definitely get it back once I feel a little bit like there's been a little bit of bloodletting, a little bit of a release of the exhaustion on Bitcoin. Can they continue to perform while, say, Bitcoin is benign and grinds down a little bit, but nothing too dramatic? Yes, they could. Could I be too early? Yes, I could. The big game is missing the hard sell-offs. And on this, I want to be conservative for once, I like to be in the game all the time. There's a lot going on in FX. I've got other things to keep me amused by watching the traditional world. I'll see the signals there also, because we are grand macro, 360-degree analysis, all markets. These two planets are already colliding. I want to see both. I don't want to be just sat on top of one. Tell you what, I've still got a pump pedal, yeah? You can hear me gassing out, yeah? It's a good climb though. It's getting nice and crisp as well. So be cautious now. I know it feels like, well, there's already been a sell-off. It's kind of late. By the time you say it's about a rally, it probably will have a rally. It's more on the big time frames. Where will it be this time next month? I think it could be lower. You could have a December where it's low. Everyone's expecting blow off huge December of gifts. We said as well in October, expect a good Christmas. That view changes like anything. If I have a second month of full reversal and a shooting star in 3 months, 2 shooting stars out of 3. The October took back the previous one and it looked like it just was, okay, there was something big in that month that created it. It goes and does it again. We've not gone much higher than the halftime oranges high. 64.8 was halftime oranges high. And we provided the 29K low. The best value for a crypto YouTuber is actually the one who gets you out at the right times, not the one that calls bull all the time. It's easy. It's a macro bull. You're generally going to be right calling bull. It's hard to get bear calls right on an expanding market. But get into fiat, be defensive at 56K on the right shoulder of a head and shoulder was probably the best thing we did, and it was the least liked message. This message will not be liked. Bull hodls hate bears. They think you're coming to reduce their stack and create bearish sentiment that's going to see them lose money. You're making it happen. I ain't making anything happen. I didn't make those 2 shooting stars in 3 months. I watched them happen and I said, hey, there's 2 shooting stars in 3 months. When last did we call a shooting star on a monthly? The RH2 of the first cup gold nugget macro 2.5 year at the 14,000, just sub 14,000. We said that's another shooting star that you just got there. And at about 11 or 12, we said we don't like this full reversal candle. That was the last time you traded 13,000 anything. You went to 3K, sub 4 in the end. There was a down leg that took you to 6. You had a rally that took you back up to about 9 or 10. And then you had another bear call, which was the COT indicator, the Hunt Bitcoin COT indicator. And then you went to 3. That whole period, it would have been just a lot better if those entire period on months you were in stablecoin. And you jump back in on the COT long on the spiller thriller of the pandemic. Simple as that. That's what you needed to do. So sometimes less is more. I want to encourage you to be less active, only on the high probability. It ain't a high probability bull season on the total, on Bitcoin. Now, obviously, Bitcoin's a large part of the total, but I've also looked at the total too. I've looked at Ethereum, which is the biggest, most significant alt by market cap. Shooting star. Sol, shooting star. I'm saying to you, you can buy Sol again later at lower. I think there's a chance. More likely than is usually the chance. Usually the chance is the market's running away from you. Get in as fast as you can. Same for Luna. And if Bitcoin dumps or grinds, that dump is not a very good technical word. Dump typically sounds like an absolute huge, vast, high volatility collapse. If Bitcoin grinds lower, has a few stabs, weak rallies, stabs, nothing staircasing, not an elevator for a number of months, that's not very supportive. You have to have spotted very well your best alts, and they're going to battle if Bitcoin keeps getting stabbed to the downside. And it's variant, and it's hospital numbers, and it's all of this stuff. Much better to come back. I had a mate who was in business during the subprime collapse, who was running his business. He said he never worked harder than post subprime. He said they made no money. They spent all the money they had on marketing, servicing. They worked like dogs. The revenue they made barely covered cost. They've never worked harder. They were exhausted after 3 or 4 years post subprime. It was a dog fest. He said if it ever happened again, he'd shut up shop and come back and open it in better circumstances. He would have kept more of his money. He wouldn't have operated and toiled. And it's a hard thing to do, by the way, shut up shop and say, look, this is what I've got, but I ain't going to waste it. It's a pretty hard thing to do. But he said, with the knowledge of hindsight, how big a thing that was, hoping and throwing resources and toiling where no one had any money, nobody could do anything. It's the same as trading long in a bear market. It's exhausting, it's frustrating, it's counterproductive, it's going to hurt, you're going to be thrashed, and you won't be ready to take the new bull. That's the worst part of it. You won't be fresh to take the new bull. That's the worst part of it, guys. You'll be too exhausted and too cynical. Rest. When the conditions are not good, rest. Snipers don't shoot in fucking hurricanes. They ain't hitting anybody. Their shot to conversion kill ratio falls through the floor. They aren't shooting at a tin soldier of no value in a howling wind in mist. They don't do it. They wait for optimal conditions, and then they take the shot and they get a high value target and they shoot a general or a field marshal. Anyway, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this kind of format, you enjoyed the ride, it's getting dark. For all I know, you might not be able to see too much. We'll see how this comes out. Thumbs up are appreciated. Puppy licks to the face, a couple of pap smears. Puppy licks and pap smears are pure currency to us. Smear your pappy's best advice on crypto world all over the place. And we'll see you next time. And God bless you all. Enjoy your weekends. Get off your computer. Hug and love. Live for the day. Seize a moment of joy in every day that you have. Don't assume you're getting another 3 years extension. Live it to the fullest, and you probably will. That's how the wisdom of Sniper here on this weekend. Bye for now.